All right, so I'm gonna say this right off the bat here, just before we. I don't know why it says I'm gonna have to cut that down. So I'm gonna start out this video just kind of talking about the chair here. So I, I actually broke the old chair that I had jumping for joy during the Packers and Niners live stream. I got excited about the Keyshawn Nixon punt return, or sorry, kick return. It was like in the third quarter or whatever, and I was kind of jumping up and down in my chair with joy. And I had a card table chair or a card chair, whatever you want to, lawn chair, whatever you want to call it. Just basically a metal chair is what I had with a little cushion on the back and then on the underneath where you sit. And so the bar on the side of the chair broke and I almost fell over live on stream. So I had to find something. I used this for the basically the end of the stream too. And so you're going to hear a lot of squeaking just because I have not been able to get around to fixing this chair. Got to flip it over and just look at a WD-40 or something, figure it out, which I'll get to. But for now, though, I want to try something different. I want to try something unique. And for some odd reason, I feel like wrestling has always kind of been in my life, at least for a while now. Like when I was in high school, I had an art class with some friends, and one kid would always just pull up highlights from Raw or SmackDown at the time, were the only two shows. So we'd watch those. There was one show. It was probably like the first Saudi Arabia show or whatever. It was like on during the day on Friday. And so he actually pulled up like a stream and actually was watching like during school, during our class. But we finished a lot of work in there real fast, so we had a lot of free time towards the end of class. But that, and then doing YouTube here. Shout out to Stadium Junkies. They had me on for an NXT show. We just did the Royal Rumble about a week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it's been. What's it been? Yeah, a little. It's been a week from the day I record this. So yeah, it's been the 27th. So I'm recording this on February 3rd, which is Saturday. So a week ago, is when we did the Royal Rumble with them set down. It feels like it's been longer than a week already. But them. I don't know everything, but talking to them is fun about it. And then all of a sudden with this new job I got. I have one guy that's really interested in wrestling and really loves wrestling a lot. And so for some reason, it's kind of always been around me. And I don't know a ton. I don't watch a ton, but, just probably within the past year, I've watched, well, I guess the year and a half, somewhere around there, started to pick up more and more, watch a little more and more of it. And really this kind of got inspired because Tony on Stadium Junkies, I was talking to him today and some other people online today about the Rock and Roman segment, and I don't know, I just thought why not try something. Maybe I'll get one of them that come on and we can do a video discussing it too, a little more in depth, and I can get another perspective of it sometime. Or I don't know. I don't know if he's busy tomorrow or sorry, Sunday. I'm thinking of me. If you're saying it's the future, it's a different day. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll think if you guys enjoy this, if you guys want this, maybe I'll try to have someone with a little more knowledge than me kind of talk about this. But there's a big outrage, and I'm excited to talk to more people. I'm excited to go to work and just kind of see that side of it, and what he thinks at work and whatnot, and just talk to more people online about it. Because if you go online right now, it's pretty negative for the wrestling community, for Cody and Roman and Rock. It's I don't know, it's a big thing, and obviously they have WrestleMania, their biggest show of the year. It's basically the equivalent of the Super Bowl or the World Cup for other sports. It's basically their biggest show of the year. Well, not basically, it is their biggest show of the year. So that's coming up in April. There's one, what do they call them, PLEs? What is that? Premium live events. They don't call them pay-per-views anymore. So again, sorry for the squeaking. I'm trying not to move, but it's not the best setup, especially because this chair is lower. But anyway, so they have that coming up at the start of April. There's a show called Elimination Chamber here at end of February. So they have nothing in March, just because that'd be a month for Mania. So I got one more PLE, and then their biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. And I feel like that's like a lot of people should know that show. I don't know. Again, I'm not like huge wrestling fan or whatever, but that was even kind of common for me. Like even I know, like, hey, like that's a huge event for them. But it's it's really interesting just to kind of see everyone just kind of talking about it and how it's mainly sided to Cody and with everything that he's been going on with his story and everything he's done. Winning back-to-back Rumbles, doing just everything. I think he's only lost like one match since he's returned, which is crazy. And what's it been, 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever. Or, I guess we're closing in on 3. I guess Mania this year will be 3, right? Maybe 2. I don't want to. Time fly. I whatever happened with time, I'm not like there. I sometimes Fridays feel or Thursdays feel like Friday. Like this past Thursday has felt like a Friday to me. So I don't know. Time is flowing. Like things have just meshed together, and everything is just an illusion at this point. I don't know what time is anymore. But so he's been back in the company after being in AEW, starting up AEW actually, being one of the founders of it. Came back, and then his story has been to get the WWE Championship, which has been the main one. And it's this is really derails the purpose of the Royal Rumble. And so again, you're watching my channel. Maybe you don't watch a lot of wrestling like I do. So basically, what the Royal Rumble is you get a shot at the champion, whoever's the champion at WrestleMania. So it's like they call them the Big Four pay-per-views. And so Royal Rumble is like the first of the year. And it's one of their Big Four. So you start there, and then whoever wins, it's a 30-man over the top rope battle royal essentially. What is it is not essentially. I don't know why I'm saying essentially, but throw them over the top rope, get them onto the ground, and they're out. So Cody won that back-to-back years actually, and whoever wins that automatically gets a shot at Mania at WrestleMania, and he essentially gave that up. And again, like we're like I'm recording this Saturday afternoon, and again maybe next week, and we'll get Tony or Jeff on here if they want to come on here, and we'll talk a little more in depth and whatnot. And they can give a way better perspective than I can right now of this stuff. But he basically threw away his shot and said, "Here you go. Here's in the story. Here's Rock and the Rock, who I've known who that is for a long time. John Cena, stuff like that. Like it's they transcend the sphere, like every sphere, and are like known worldwide and everything like that. So like The Rock, I think in 2022 or 2023 was like the highest paid actor, and I think he still is. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but I think he might still be like the highest paid actor. So it's like having him come in, it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. But with the little that I've been watching, and know about what they've kind of been setting up for Cody Roman, and he's basically coming in and just stealing the spotlight, taking it, and Cody doesn't know when he's going to finish the story, because even he says, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do it at Mania. So what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's a dumb thing. It's a weird thing. I love, I've always loved writing books, and I got a friend that's big into making stories, and that kind of has me into making some of mine. And I've done skits, and I've tried to do story structure over the whole period of the NFL season. And I don't like to change unless they think of something better. That's like, okay, like I can still incorporate this to the end of the story. Like we can go this way and over instead of under, and we get to the same spot. So the story, like a story like this to me, where it's like, hey, like he lost at last year's WrestleMania. You know, he won the Rumble again just to get another shot at Roman because he doesn't want the other championship because there's two champions because you have SmackDown and Raw. So it's two different brands. So whatever, like that's less meaningful to this. But like the story here is like, hey, like I have to get the Roman. I have to beat him. You know, he said on SmackDown, like, hey, like I want to take everything from you. I want to strip everything from you. Your title, your title that you have. You know, he calls himself Roman calls himself the Tribal Chief. So like that title, like the head of the table, like he wants to take everything away, all his allies and whatnot, and basically dismantle him. And I like it's like a cool premise and everything like that. But now they're just like, okay, move it back, move it back, move it back, move it back. Like, and they just keep moving the goalposts back further and further and further away. And you know, a lot of people for the past, I don't know, year. Well, I guess yeah, probably since Mania last year, I've been like, why didn't Cody win at WrestleMania 39? Like that was the perfect opportunity. You know, could have gone on. SummerSlam was another one of the big four. Like you did your thing at SummerSlam, which you know, Cody could have defended against someone else, and then you know, Roman takes on Jay, which is a member of his family. That they call themselves a bloodline, and you know, you have that, and then you could have taken care of the other stuff, and then 40, you could have just had like Cody be the final nail in the coffin. Like, hey, like you got your rematch finally for the title, but you know, they decided to keep the belt on him another year, try to beat Hulk Hogan's first title reign, I think. I don't first or second title, whatever. He's got like 4 long ones, so like he's got a decent amount of long runs. So they're trying to have him beat that, which isn't until September, I want to say, which means Roman might have to hold on to the belt for another year, because why would you kind of what they call B shows have them lose there after September? You have the final of the Big Four, which is called Survivor Series at the end of the year in November, but I feel like they wouldn't do that. So what they push, like Cody's like, hey, I'll take care of it later on, which makes no sense. He didn't say later on. He just says he doesn't want to face him at WrestleMania, which could mean a million things. It could mean the not paper, sorry, PLE they have coming up at the end of February here called Elimination Chamber, which actually takes place in Australia, which is really cool. But I feel like that doesn't hit as hard, especially because Cody won the Rumble. So the Rumble is a ticket to Mania. So I just, they're scrambling pieces, and you know, in the storyline itself, it's, well, you know, here you go. Like, I'll take care of my stuff later. I'll take care of, you know, finishing my story later. Here you go. Here's a bigger star. There's your ticket. Here's your ticket. Go ahead and do it yourself. So I just, storyline wise, it doesn't make sense. Behind the scene wise, it's politics. And it's not what you think when you think politics, like not government politics. This is more so like people climbing up the ladder, like Tom Brady, you know, with the refs. Like, hey, like here's a bunch of money to the refs. You know, I'm gonna win this game. Let's deflate the football here. You know, stuff like that. Like, now obviously those are allegations, right? They're allegations. Like, it's nothing's ever been confirmed, but you can kind of tell. Like again, football. People make their way up the ladder, you know, by having the refs on their side or deflating footballs or stuff, you know, stuff like that. And you know, in wrestling, it's basically like, hey, like I should go over this guy, I should beat this guy for this, and then push me up the ladder higher, and you know, shoot me to the moon or shoot me to the stars. And he essentially came in and became not an owner. I don't think it was an owner. He basically he's a higher up. The Rock is a higher up in TKO, which is what just bought the WWE. And so he basically just came in and said, hey, like, all the stuff that's going on with Vince McMahon, push that to the side. Let me go in there. I'm going to handle business. They're talking that he might try to take the belt, which is the dumbest idea ever, because there's well, the buildup is he's beaten, he's got a lot of they're called Samoans. That's what the Bloodline family is. So he's got a lot of them on his side, and now one of them portrayed him, went to Raw. So he kind of went away. So he's Roman's trying to hold his family together. But then, so you can have Rock come in and be like, yeah, I'm actually the head of the table here. Like, yeah, that's my family too. So, like you could, like, it's just, again, in storyline, it doesn't make sense. In, the backstage politics, it's like, okay, you're just going to push yourself there. Just do what you want to do. They have a pretty good roster. They have a pretty good roster. It's fun. Like, again, I don't watch it all the time. Again, it's streamed a couple of times with Stadium Junkies. Again, I'm bringing them up because they really helped me get into it, and I started learning more about them basically through them. Well, then what I already know, because again, there's like a gap in there of high school to basically middle of COVID. Starting to watch a little more of it. So, but it's just to round this out. He pushed himself in there and says, hey, like, I could win the title here. I could, help get a better, or be looked better at from the outside world, from, the general media. And, because obviously wrestling fans know everything that's going on with Vince McMahon and all that crap, which I don't really want to talk about because the YouTube already doesn't like me. It already doesn't push me out, so I might just get banished to the Shadow Realm if I just started talking about all that. You can find everything online about Vince McMahon, and so they're trying to again make the company in a better light in the general media and whatnot. But the story of Roman, like, he's a conqueror. He's beat everyone in 3 years, 4 years. Somewhere in there, between 3 and 4 years of holding the WWE belt and the WWE Universal belt, which they combined into one, so it doesn't have to carry around 2 belts because those things look pretty heavy. And they have real like gold, and I think there's some diamonds in it. Like they're hefty pieces of equipment they got to hold. So, and he doesn't hold them all. He has a special counsel is what the guy is called. To help him hold it, he stands in the background on the side during segments, but that's not the point either. The point is they did all this, setup of like, hey, like, Cody lost, but he's a hero that's on the rise again. Like, he almost won. He's coming back, and he's round 2 exactly a year later. And they're just chucking that. Just go get it, boy. Go get it. Go, it's over there. Here you go, buddy. Here's your ticket. It's dumb. And I agree with the outrage everywhere online right now, and I do get the perspective of, hey, it's The Rock. Like, yes, of course, like that man deserves, if he wants to main event WrestleMania, he's one of the biggest stars, and he's one of the most paid actors and whatnot. Like, he deserves it. If he wants to do that, sure, I get that. But it's the context of now, after the Rumble, which that was even the whole thing where at the Royal Rumble, Cody was pointing at Roman because Roman was sitting in a suite watching. Both champions were. And Cody was pointing at Roman, and Roman kind of acknowledged him and held up the championship like, hey, like, come get me, like, come get me. And like you have all this set up like at the Rumble and whatnot, and then again, just the whole story of Cody wants the belt that his dad never got a hold, which is a whole nother part of the story, which again, I'm kind of abbreviating parts here. There's 2 years, 3 years of context here that I'm trying to just jam into. Right now, we're 20 minutes into this video, and I've only been talking probably for 15 minutes, and now I'm rambling on. There's a lot here. There's a lot to try to squeeze in and package into a video. And I know some people are, of my followers or of subscribers are like, hey, like, okay, you know, we know all this. You know, like, hey, hopefully they're excited that I'm actually like trying this. And hopefully this receives positive feedback. I don't know. Oh man. If it doesn't, I'll just never make another one again. But point is the context of, hey, like, you know, I'm trying to hold the belt my dad never officially got. You know, I'm trying to be a conquering hero. You know, I lost once, but I barely lost, and he had help to beat me, so I know I can beat him. You know, to going through the Royal Rumble, beating 29 other contestants. It's a 30-man battle royal. So it'd be 29 other contestants, which again, it's not like you just, you know, one-on-one. Like it's everyone for themselves at the same time. So which is a better run. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I just have to explain it just in case, you know, just to be safe. But you know, he went through that again. You know, after winning it last year, this year he came out basically at number. I think it was 15. Last year he came out at 30, so it was just like, yeah, like he's fresh for the end of the match. You know, this year is like in the middle of all the contestants just coming out, and you know he won it that way. So again, back to back. You know, you're basically the SmackDown after the right after, which again, it's been about a week, or well, it was 6 days after, because again, the Rumble happens on Saturday, and they do SmackDown on Fridays, which is on Fox. Which I feel like if you're just kind of flipping through, it starts at like 7 my time, and it's a 2-hour show. So you know, I caught the end of it and whatnot. You know, talking with some people because they told me when the segment was, so I just was like, okay, I'll watch I'll watch this segment. You know, I'm invested enough, and so I'll try it. And so you know, all the build up here, and then he's just like, hey, like I'm just gonna give it to The Rock, and just he leaves the ring. He leaves. He heads backstage, and The Rock and Roman don't even say a word. They're just gonna stare at each other. They have a graphic that says, hey, like here's a presser for WrestleMania 40, just kind of talk about, you know, general, because it's in Philadelphia this year and whatnot. And they basically, you know, mentioned after the fact that a report came out like, hey, like Roman and Rock are going to be there at the presser. So everyone's like, okay, they're setting it up. Like they're going to have exchange words there. They're setting it up. And that's what we're going to do. We're not going to, you know, do a triple threat, which I don't like the idea of a triple threat because I think Roman has to lose one-on-one. So I don't know. I don't understand this idea. I don't understand the thought of, hey, why are we extending it longer when a lot of people don't care about this, you know, reign anymore, which has been going on for 1,200 days, 1,300 days, 1,200. I want to say it's been like 1,200. I don't. Hang on. I'm gonna quickly look this up. See if I can just find it real quick. It's been a while. It's been a couple years. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, hey. So this was 1252. This was I don't know if this is today. So yeah, so it's been about 1,260 days. It's about that. It's because that's like a couple days before the Rumble. So it's been about 1,260-ish days he's held the title, which is again 4 years. About 4 years he's held the title. So you know, the past year it's kind of been getting stale. The way everything has kind of happened in the last year, calendar year. It's like, hey, Cody probably could have won it. You know, you don't get to 1,000 days, but he probably could have won it. It's starting to become apparent that he easily could have. So it's just, I don't know. We'll do like, again, if this receives a good reception, I'll kind of do a follow up video. Again, I might bring someone else with me. You know, maybe next week, and we'll wait till the next Raw and SmackDown have air just to see if anything else happens on Raw on Monday and on SmackDown on Friday. Again, we have 2 months. It's like 2 months and 2 days or whatever until WrestleMania Night 1 happens, which I guess he would probably be night too if whatever happens. So we have like 2 months and 3 days, 4 days. So I don't know. But again, I just saw something different. Just kind of talk about it. It was fun to just kind of read, and you go to like Twitter and Reddit and all these different places online. Excuse me, and you just see all the discourse and all the people going like, "Hey, like this is terrible." You go onto YouTube, it's the last night's segment, which was the main event segment, which is the end of the show, it closes the show. Again, where The Rock showed up, is the most disliked WWE video in history. In history, with last I saw, it was like 310,000 or 310,000 dislikes, and that was like 2 hours ago. Last time I saw a report, so. It's 6:12 p.m. right now at the time I'm about to finish this up. It could be at 350K right now, dislikes. And that's like it could easily by like the end of the weekend here, it could break 500K possibly. I have not done anything. I've not added a like or dislike to that, but maybe we'll add, we'll add ourselves into the conversation, but there's a little bit of people like defending it, The Rock, and again, I understand that side of it too. Tony was doing that too, defending that side. Like, hey, like, it's got to be Mania. It has to be Mania for The Rock. But it's just mainly been just pro Cody, and I don't want to say anti-Rock because I feel like they'd be like, oh yeah, like we just flat out hate The Rock now. Like, no, it's more like, why now? Like, what are we doing? Like, it's dumb, it's stupid. Like, you gave the ticket to Cody, and then The Rock's just swiping it away. So I don't know. I just bad choice. I personally think you could do it at like a SummerSlam or something. I don't think they would do it at Elimination Chamber, which again is in Australia. Which for here in the US, I think the East Coast, I think it starts at like 3 a.m. So I see why they wouldn't want to do it at the Elimination Chamber for sure. 100%. I understand why they want to do that. And you want to, have your American audience be like front and center. Like, here you go. Like, it's middle of the day or afternoon or whatever, heading into the night. Here's The Rock for you where you can see it. So, I mean, the next step would probably be like SummerSlam. But again, it seems like The Rock is really pushing for WrestleMania, which just derails everything that's been set up for Cody. Everything that's been, Roman's been setting up to here to kind of lose the belt. Now it's like, hey, are they gonna wait until 41 for Cody to finally get that main event spot so that Roman can surpass Hulk Hogan's record? Like, I don't know. I think it's dumb. Whatever they do, I don't know. What their idea is here. We'll find out. Again, we have 2 months here for them to kind of explain themselves. And there's been so much discourse. Maybe they're gonna be like, okay, you know what? We were wrong. Let's go ahead and fix this real quick. They have 2 months to build up that they can, and well, it's more than 2 months. They can still just go like, oh yeah, by the way, gotcha. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and get on here. Yeah, it's a 30-minute video. My bad. It's trying to, I'm rambling a lot. So like the video, share the video, don't subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.